All right, before we begin, we need to get real for a moment. What you're about to hear involves one of the deadliest threats facing our country today, fentanyl. This isn't just another drug. It's 50 times stronger than heroin, 100 times stronger than morphine, and just 2 milligrams, about the size of a few grains of salt, can be fatal. Fentanyl is being mixed into pills, powders, and street drugs without people knowing, and it's killing teens, young adults, parents, everyday people, often the very first time they try it. We're going to talk about the harsh truth tonight, how easily it's disguised, the staggering rise in deaths, and why nobody is truly safe from it. This conversation is intense, but it's necessary. If we stay silent, more lives are lost. So consider this your warning. This episode is raw and possibly life-saving. On Friday, October 3rd, my daughter was taken because of fentanyl. She leaves behind a 1.5-year-old. We are now in a situation where we're trying to figure out how to make sure she is safe. Her father wasn't much better of a person. I wish him the best, and I hope he learns from this. Yeah, this episode is dedicated to my daughter, Jordyn.
Yeah, man, that's. I'm surprised you wanted to do this show, especially so soon. I mean,
Pull the Band-Aid off, man.
It's one of the reasons that I was afraid to have children was because you would never. I think it's probably the worst thing that a human could go through is having to bury your own child. I mean, I can't imagine anything worse. So, obviously,
it's been like surreal. It's almost like. So I've gone to work. I went back to work on Tuesday, yesterday. Today was my second day back. And no matter what, I can't find myself. I feel lost in a way. I don't even know how to explain it. It's unbelievable. It's crazy. And, this whole entire thing is, we have friends that have lost their lives. John's sister, Stephanie, she lost her life to it.
Yeah, we know a few people.
Yeah,
if not fentanyl, something else.
Look at Josh's stepdad, Dan. He lost his life.
That's right, yeah.
Brian G.
Yeah. It's, I feel like every 4 to 6 months I hear about so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so, and it's like, I'm 44 years old. These people aren't dying from heart attacks. They're not dying from, old age. They're not, so. And one of the things that we talked about was, when you hear so-and-so passes away at 45, right? If it was any foul play, you don't really hear about that. Nobody's like, oh, it was an overdose or it was this. It's just like, oh, so-and-so passed away. And it's like a very unspoken, in the back of your mind, you're like, that dude partied a lot.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, with fentanyl, it's not even overdosing really anymore. It's you're poisoning yourself, literally. And that's why it takes such a small amount, literally the size of half a grain of rice. And that can take you and me out. We're doing something we shouldn't be doing. That's in it. It could be lights out.
Yeah, so they say that the worst part of it is called IMF. It's illegally manufactured fentanyl.
And it comes from China, and it's sent to Mexico.
Exactly. So it's coming in through the South. But when we grew up, I haven't heard of fentanyl in the last 3 years. Before that, I'd never heard of it in my life.
Yeah.
Do
you know it is the number one killer in young people in America, more than guns, car crashes, or suicide? It's fentanyl.
So do people? So it's 50 times stronger than heroin.
Yes. Half a grain of rice.
So when I was a kid, did you ever see the movie called Trainspotting?
Yeah, it was in Scotland.
Yes, bro. When I saw that movie, I was like, what in the actual fuckery is happening right now? This is insane. And imagine that times 50. So when people, so obviously there's a high that comes with fentanyl, right? That's why they do it. But
Absolutely.
How much do you need to party? I don't understand why people are so willing. Nowadays, we were talking earlier today. like weed, right? Like when we grew up, me, you, and Mark every night would scrap together $20 and we would roll up a blunt of whatever the dude sold us. We didn't say like, can I have let me get an eighth of tangerine green. Like you got the seeds, the sticks, the stems, and you got whatever they gave you, you know what I mean? So it wasn't really an option. Where nowadays, like you go into the dispensary and it's like, it's like weed's not even like weed anymore. It's like something else. But, drugs themselves, I remember when E came out and like acid and like even like coke, but we never really fucked with all that stuff.
Yeah, Ronan, when we did drugs as young kids, not young kids, but like in our
When we were
late
like six
teens,
and
early
seven,
20s, no, that was you smoking cigarettes down at the basketball court, the
when we were
tennis court.
toddlers.
No, when we were having fun and partying at that age, it was different. We did it together. We were all friends, everything, Here's a terrible, sad fact. Most overdoses happen alone because young people are too ashamed to ask for help and they don't think that they're drug addicts. Like, my daughter clearly did not think she was a drug addict. The first time she went to rehab about a year ago, she kicked and screamed and fought. And, I'm going to share this. I will say this. The drug is so powerful that after she gave birth to her daughter, my granddaughter, from labor and delivery within hours of giving birth, she was taking her IVs out to leave the hospital to go get a fix.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, it's really crazy.
And
And you poison your body so much by taking this drug that eventually something happens. And in her case, she had a heart attack. And when she had the heart attack, she ended up passing out. She was unconscious. I don't know, exactly all of the details other than there was a lack of oxygen going to her brain from anywhere from 40 minutes to an hour. It takes 4 minutes to kill the human brain without oxygen.
well, I mean, one thing I've learned is I hate when people say like, "Oh, I understand how you feel," or "Oh, I know what you mean," right? Because I don't. And to be honest, I hope I never know what you mean. But one thing that I probably haven't even told you is, so I've had, what, 7 back surgeries now in the last 5 years?
Yeah.
So I've had my fair share of pain meds and shit like that. And so, like, I'm Irish, right? You've seen me drunk 8 million times, right? But, like, I can sit here with a straight face and tell you that the last beer I had was last New Year's. And the last beer I had before that was probably the last New Year's before that. So in like the last 4 years, I've probably drank 4 times, right? Luckily, I don't have that like addictive personality where like I should have been an alcoholic. Like the way that I partied in my 20s, like I should be like a lush right now.
Or the spokesperson for Coca-Cola.
Exactly.
You were addicted to that.
Yeah, dude, I used to have a callus on my hand from lifting so many goddamn soda. You know who started that? Your brother.
Dave, yeah.
Your fucking brother, because he won that
winning
goddamn Monopoly
at
thing from
McDonald's.
McDonald's. And they rolled in with a actual truck with like, I think it was like 312 packs of, it was a wall. It was a wall in your mom's basement, and I drank like 70% of them. But anyway, so with all these surgeries, I'm not built for pain. I don't like pain. So with every surgery, I would take Oxy, not Oxycontin, oxycodone. And it was at the point of taking it, I was in a lot of pain, right? Like it was fucking super painful, man. I have fusion in my back, I have, nerves and all this stuff. It was the only thing that I took, and this is probably the first time I've ever even disclosed this, but it was the only thing that I ever took that made me feel almost normal again. Like I'm disabled now.
That's what's so scary about these drugs in the prescription form.
Yeah, well, that's where it all starts, right? And I'll tell you how. I'll tell you
want to
exactly how
maintain
it
that
starts.
awesome feeling.
I'll tell you exactly how all of this starts. It starts because a guy like me who had a surgery takes meds because he's in pain, right? And then you realize that you're never going to be normal again, but you can be kind of normal as long as you're taking this thing that's going to help you, right? So you're like, oh, I'm just in recovery for a couple months, so I'll just take it until I'm done with recovery. And then all of a sudden you never recover. And then you're like, dude, this is insane. Like, my kids don't know me for who I am. They know me as the disabled dad. Like, they know, like, at me as a broken Ronan, not as the playful and the crazy one from before, because they've always seen me broken. But I've never had withdrawals from beer. I've never been jonesing for anything. But I'll tell you what, man, that opioid shit is no joke. I remember there was nights I would lay on the couch and I was like, now, I wasn't like the way that you see or hear on, but like I was visibly like, you could see like I was like not shaking, but like my body was like, this sucks, dude. Like I need that shit to
Yeah,
make me feel better.
yeah.
And that was probably one of the worst feelings I've ever had in my life. And I said to Aaron, I'm like, that was like, you know what? The only word is dirty. I felt dirty because I just felt like I was like I wanted to rip my skin off. And, over years of people doing it. So here's what happened. So I'm taking the oxycodone and every 4 hours or whatever, and I'm feeling good or better. And then they're like, okay, no more of that. And then you're like, well, what do you mean no more of that? Like, I need to have that. So you're presented with two options. Either,
Approved by the doctor.
yeah, so when because also the doctors, if they prescribe it, that makes them look bad. So you have two options. You can either cold turkey and quit, or you go find it from somewhere else. And that's where the street shit starts getting. That's where you see people getting in with heroin. And, I don't want to say any names out here, but you remember our boy from Dockside, thank God he's still alive because
Oh
he
my,
he
yeah.
should have been dead. That dude should have been dead multiple times with heroin. So what happens is you get guys like me who come off these surgeries and they they need something to get them back to some sort of normal, or you just live the rest of your life in pain, and
And
it,
there's a crazy statistic. 70,000 people die every single year because of fentanyl. I wonder how many of those people started off with the proper opioids, but then were taken off of it by their doctor and went a different route, like you
yeah,
said,
yeah,
and ended up dying. Like, imagine if you were like, you know what, Aaron, I'm willing to risk it. I've got to go find it on the street, and she supports you for some weird reason, and
yeah,
you end up dying on your couch, God forbid, because you were looking for whatever it took to make you normal again, and the
yeah. You were
doctor
looking
was
for
like,
to take the edge off, and
yeah.
what's crazy is like nobody thinks like I'm gonna go find something that's even stronger because when you're in pain, you're not taking the pill to get high. You're taking the pain for the pain to go away. So there's two different mindsets. Are you taking a pill for the buzz or are you taking a pill to relieve pain? Because I can't honestly say that I ever felt high from taking Oxy because my mind was, how do I get this pain away? It was never like, oh, I'm going to get a buzz, But I was too afraid. I'm a big old pussy when it comes to trying new things. Like, I don't want to, like, I'm not going to go out and trust some dude that got his pharmaceutical, hell no, I don't trust anything. But there's people out there that don't have the same willpower as me to trust whoever.
Sometimes the willpower is dictated by social status. Imagine you're that guy hurting and you live in poverty to begin with. And
Oh yeah, you're like, fuck it, who cares?
yeah, who cares? Just
Yeah, well,
walk right
what's the
on the
worst can
corner,
happen?
walk right down the corner and be like, Tyrone, let me get some of that fucking shit.
Exactly. Why has it got to be Tyrone? Why can't it be like James? But no, you're right. It's if you're in that kind of community where it's easy to get, that shit could be problematic, dude. Like,
There's a
it's also like it wasn't something like I would have to research that kind of stuff right now,
Let me tell you
but
something. If fentanyl existed in the same capacity as it does today, when you and I were doing things like ecstasy, straight up, do you know how many fentanyl deaths there would be? The scariest thing to me is those one timers that are like, yeah, I'm with my friends and I'm going to try
yeah,
this drug and
yeah,
yeah, we're going to party. And they never wake up. And what happens is within minutes, overdosing happens fast and silent, and it's when the people stop breathing and no one's there to administer Narcan, have it even on them because they're not thinking about it, or just be there to resuscitate them. 4 minutes, the brain is dead.
That's crazy. I have Narcan for that same reason. My doctor gave me Narcan in case of whatever
In case you
from pain meds.
fell off the rocker.
So let me ask you a question. So when you see things of like people in like Baltimore and Portland, you know, when they're all laid out in the street, is that from fentanyl? Is that like how they're? I always thought that was heroin.
It is. It's heroin. It's fentanyl. It's crack. Yes, it is
So
all of those things.
so do,
Fentanyl is just this thing that is hitting people so hard, so fast, because you can either purposely go and ask for it, you can be tricked into it, or you become dependent on it because you were weaned off of something your doctor won't give you anymore.
yeah.
That they're not living in your body and the pain you deal with and the night shaking on the couch.
Yeah,
Saying it's
dude.
the worst night you've ever experienced. So, man.
That shit was crazy, dude. I mean, I witnessed it in firsthand, and I would consider myself like, you know, a lower kind of dose type of dude. But like, I remember the couple nights that had happened, and I was like, ooh, this is no bueno. Like, that shit hit me on another level that I've never experienced before. Like, I've never in my life ever like I can with a straight face I can sit here and say I've never drank at work. I never drank before work. I never like snuck at like that. Just as much as I love to drink, I was a social drinker. Like I like to. What the fuck are you laughing at?
Have you ever seen that? It was. I think I might have seen it like on Facebook or something. There was like a. They were showing an old from the 70s, maybe late 70s, early 80s, a reporter on the streets interviewing people, and they were of let's just say
Southern
I don't even know,
black
hillbillies,
people, Southern white
hillbillies,
people,
no hillbillies, and basically
rednecks.
rednecks. There you go.
They
They're interviewing. They're interviewing them, and they're complaining to the news reporter that their rights are being taken away because they can't crack open the beer on the drive home anymore.
Oh, dude, I saw that. I saw that.
That's so funny. It's
Yeah,
like our constitutional rights
yeah.
are being taken.
It's like the Third Amendment. I should be able to
Yep.
drink
But
and drive.
it's those people that do not and misunderstand fentanyl. You know, my daughter lived in the poorest state in the country, and by choice, her and her mom, that's where they lived, and
Yeah.
it was just, I don't know.
Well, you
It
know,
fucking sucks.
you know, like what you were saying about the area, the demographic, like, you know, like Baltimore, right? I despise Baltimore. I lived there for a year. We grew up just 45 minutes outside of it. Like, to me, anywhere that is so unpredictable, you know, like if you go like First Street, Baltimore, like Baltimore is the type of place that you could be in a really nice neighborhood and walk one block and like it's like you went 50 years back. But like when you live in neighborhoods like that, that shit's easy to get. And not only that, but it's like it's not clean. It's like
Ronan, it's
ugh.
so easy to get. Okay, there was a study done by the Drug Enforcement Agency, and they said, imagine taking 10 Skittles and putting them
Mhm.
in your hands. 10. 7 of those have fentanyl in them.
That's crazy. And they're not supposed to?
They're not. Those are the things on the streets. Those are the manufactured
Okay.
things. So what they say is the drug, the synthetic drug, is created in China, and then it's brought to Mexico, where they press it into pills and different things. Like, just think about that. These people know what this does. They are literally at war with any country that they choose to bring that into. That is a literal war. That is bigger than, anything we look. In 2013, we started experiencing fentanyl in America at what we thought was its worst. 3,000 deaths a year. In between 2013 and now, we're we are at over 75,000 deaths per year just from fentanyl. That's 200 deaths every day.
That's
My
insane.
daughter was one of 200 people on October 3rd that died from fentanyl.
So let
So
me ask you
yes, it's
this.
very easy to get. to answer your question.
You just have to be looking. So let me ask you this. So when you, like your analogy with the Skittles, right? So when people are out buying drugs, are they trying to buy fentanyl, or is it just laced with the thing that they're trying to buy?
No. So, from what I understand, there are different, like, they try to, like, glamorize them by giving them names and making them colors
Y-
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The drug that we think, or the form of fentanyl that we believe she was taking, was called the blue cocktail or blue mix or something. And it's a blue pill. And, it's psychological. Like, oh, look at that cool blue pill.
Yeah.
It's going to
Or
make me
herbal
feel
essence, weed, or
awesome.
something.
And
So
that's crazy. It's not even far from home for me. Pennsylvania, huge problem with fentanyl. West Virginia, like
So okay,
borderingly.
so kids these or people these days, they go out and they're buying a pill, right? They're
Yes.
saying, "Hey, I need to buy some pills." Are they buying the pill knowing that it's fentanyl, or are they
Hmm.
buying it with so they know that it's fentanyl
They know it's mixed, and they are under the impression, I'm assuming, that it's mixed, can it be
correctly?
deadly? But here's the crazy part. You can mix it any which way you want. It only takes a grain of rice to
So
destroy 80 people in a batch.
so people are knowingly taking the fentanyl.
Some.
And then, because I know what you're talking about, I've seen a lot of people who, like kids at a party, they'll be like, "Oh, I'll take a pill," and they're dead. That shit's crazy, dude. Because like when we were growing up, nobody was really taking pills and shit like that. None that I knew of. Yeah, well, other than like ecstasy or eating mushrooms, dude. That was fun. I loved mushrooms. That was good. But like mushrooms didn't make you like I don't know, man. Like it's just a whole nother. It's a totally different ball game. Like
Drugs are different now, man. They are as fake as can be. And it's like, think of it like this. Like, if you eat food that was made in a lab versus food that was made on a farm, it's two different things.
hmm
Like, it's almost like playing God. You're
the
putting
chemical
something,
the
yeah,
chemical properties and things like that. Yeah.
that don't belong in your body. It's the same thing with drugs. Some things are made to take care of you. I mean, clearly Tylenol will give your kid autism, but
Look at me. Look how I turned out. I'm just fine.
Jesus.
I take way too much Tylenol. I take like 3,000 milligrams every day of Tylenol.
In the short period of time that fentanyl has become a thing in America, it has literally overtaken every single other drug in terms of how many people have died. It's not an overdose crisis, it's a poisoning crisis. And that's the problem.
You
It's going to
know,
get worse, Ronan. It's
I
going to get
can.
worse.
I hope not. Like I hope we keep blowing up these Venezuelan boats. The more we can blow up those, it'd be great. But
Trump's so funny. He's on the news today giving his or I don't know if it was a press conference or
yo, he's the
he
Godfather
goes like
troll,
this. He goes, "There was fentanyl everywhere in the water."
like you've never seen before. You've never seen it like this. Yeah, dude. He's the king troll. Like the sombreros and all that shit. But like no, like dude, fucking blow up the boats, man. Like send a message. You send that shit on a boat again, we'll blow the shit out of that boat. You want some blow? Kaboom, baby. How about that blow? How about blowing it up your arse?
He's got balls. That's what it
He's
is.
got
He doesn't
gorilla
care.
balls. He doesn't give a shit. And you know what? Keep the libs bitching. I love it. But, as much as we try to have fun, occasionally we're going to have some serious stuff. And I think me being in my little opioid world for that short period of time, it was really difficult because it makes you feel, like I said, dirty is like the best word for it, but like it's not something that you openly talk to people about. So I can see why people would kind of be a recluse to it because it's embarrassing, right? Like you're not going to be like, oh man, fuck, I'm hooked on, pain pills because of my back. And oh, fuck yeah, I love pills. Like, pills are great, and it's like, you've always been taught that it's like this bad taboo, it's a bad stigma. So you tend to not talk about it. Or what you do is like, look at our boy from Dockside. He tried to hide it from us until he got sloppy and it was obvious. But
What, making us pay his rent?
paying his rent, he would never come home at the place that he paid rent to. Like He was taking trips to Baltimore 3 times a day. Like,
I will
but
give him this. Up until the day he left, he always paid his
he
rent.
did. He
He
did,
did.
and I'll tell you what, I've respected him my whole life because of that. He manned up, dude. But then look what he did. He surrounded himself with that crew, and then his best friend died, and then like all these other people start dying because they're in that crew. So, it's easy. I get why people kind of go into their own little pocket because there's not an easy way to talk about it and nobody really understands it. Like it's not like you can just go up to anybody and be like, oh yeah, so I feel like this. They're going to be like, oh, you're a junkie. That's, I would never consider myself a junkie, but like,
See, but I think you're more worried about what people think when they don't understand. Fuck them. Like, they don't know what you're going through. You have a legitimate reason to want to feel better, to want to,
but,
and you should be admired that you don't take the path of going that route of
oh, I
finding
am.
some
Believe me, I
illegal
am.
illicit drug.
Believe me, I am. It's just, you know what I think is, I don't necessarily think it's about what people would think about me. It was, holy shit, something has control over me. That's what I thought was like,
I don't know.
whoa,
I
that's
think
never
you're
happened
stronger
before.
than you give yourself credit for.
I am, well, clearly,
Maybe
because
you
I'm
had
not
a
taking them
brief,
anymore.
yeah.
But if you had one right here today, I fucking better believe I'll be popping one to make my back feel better.
Have you ever
No, no, no.
snorted
See, I never
one
did that shit. I always took it as prescribed,
as
as the
prescribed?
doctor
All
told me.
right,
I never,
there
no,
you
I
go.
never did like crushing and no, 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 no. I always eat the pill. And the one thing is though, I
Eat the
always,
pill.
I always took the exact amount I was supposed to on the exact, like if it said one pill every 6 hours, bro, I would be sitting there looking at that clock above your head. I'm like 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, one, bam, gone. Red pill, blue pill, eat me pill. But like that shit was weird, man. Like, and then you start being able to like like I was easily like functioning. Like you wouldn't even be able to tell if I was taking it. That was also another thing. I was like, fuck, that's weird. I'm on like 40 milligrams of oxy and like I'm out here playing soccer and shit. Like this ain't right. But
Jesus.
it's I've lost some good friends, man. Robbie Ecolano,
Oh my
like
God. Did that
there's
have to do with fentanyl or drug overdose?
that's one of those things that, well, he was suicide. He jumped off a bridge in Baltimore, and again, like you don't really know what's going on, but he had a lot of stuff. He went out to Afghanistan, and like a lot of them boys don't come back the same. But I mean, there's so many names that I could name that passed away. And it's like what it was from, but you don't. Like, oh, he passed away in his sleep. You're like, he was 31. Like, stop it. You don't just die from, it's not like Trump's throwing out illegal immigrants into the Gulf of America and dying that way. So it's not an easy conversation, and it's always a very difficult thing. But the one thing I would say to anyone that took the time to listen to us tonight, like find somebody, even if it's one friend to talk to about it. And I'll tell you what, there's a dude named Logic. He's a rapper, white dude from Gaithersburg. He actually is like, he's a really, really big name. He has a song called, the name of the song is the 1-800 suicide line, the phone number. And it's a fucking awesome song to listen to.
I have to look it
You
up.
should check it out. And it's like a 3-part series in the song. And one, he talks about how he wants to die. And then the next part is like where he's like, I don't know if I want to die. And then the last part is like, hell no, I don't want to die. I want to stay alive. That's a song, if you're ever feeling, anybody out there is ever feeling down, that's a great song to check out. And
All right.
and also, just make sure that, if you don't have somebody to talk to, reach out, man. There's phone numbers out there. There's hotlines to talk to. But, I feel like a lot of people, they assume they're on their own because of the stigma. Like, you can't talk to your parents about shit like that. You don't want to talk to certain friends about it because, you might care what people think.
I told you it was a problem. That's people don't admit they have the problem and they keep this a secret, and that's what kills them. They just keep doing it. Like nobody
Well, they think
needs to know and
yeah. And they just, that's how they cope, and they feel like I've got it under control. It's all good. I got it, and then until you don't got it.
so tonight, can I take us out of this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. You have anything else?
No, that was my outro right there, brother.
Yeah, I'm gonna add to that tonight just because of the circumstances. Look, you said it best. See something, say something. If there's one thing you take away from this episode, let it be fentanyl is just it's not just a drug problem. It's a silent ambush. It's showing up in fake pills, party drugs, no second chances, no warnings. What can you do about it? What can I do about it? And I'm sure we're going to talk about it again and again. Remember, silence is deadly. Educate the people you love, educate young ones, and hopefully this platform becomes something that people, can listen to us and just, we've always said it. We wanted to write a movie about our lives. Well, this is the alternative. And as we grow with this show, they're going to learn so much about us. Did I think at 47 my 25-year-old was going to pass away from fentanyl? No, not, whatsoever. And this crisis is real, but awareness saves lives. And if this episode whatsoever opened your eyes in any way, shape, or form, share it with somebody. Thank you for sticking with us through this heavy topic. This isn't fear, it's the truth. And the more we face it together, the more we live for each other. Stay alert, stay informed, and as always, keep pushing the envelope.